Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Well, that was Bishop Mariann Edgar Budde begging Donald Trump to have mercy on the people who he has relentlessly targeted throughout the years, throughout his campaign speeches, the people who are the most vulnerable in our society, the undocumented migrants working in those kitchens, the transgender LGBTQIA plus people who, like the bishop said here, are from families, Democratic, Republican, independent, apolitical. Please have mercy on them. And the looks on the faces of both the Trump family members and JD Vance. Go back and watch JD Vance throughout that bishop's speech. He is so above this that he kind of scoffs and smirks. How dare this bishop speak this way to us? You can just hear it playing in his head. Huh, don't lecture us. And Donald Trump, looks like he's paying attention to her, but at the end turns to JD Vance and mutters something under his breath. JD Vance kind of nods along there, totally dismissing this. And you can see the looks on the kids behind him and Donald Trump looking down because they know what they're doing to this country. They know that they're picking on the most vulnerable because Donald Trump is a coward, a cowardly bully. That's who Donald Trump is. With cowards around him, JD Vance, the biggest coward of them all. You want to talk about Donald Trump and Republicans being the party of God. That's God. That bishop is the true representation of God. Trump can hold his upside down Bible in front of the church during the George Floyd protests in DC when he was in office. He can try to sell Trump Bibles. They can talk about God changing Pete Hegseth. He's no longer the philanderer and the woman abuser that he once was. He found God. They can use God to try to make themselves appear as though they're holier than thou. But these people, the Trumps, the JD Vances, the people around Donald Trump, his family members, they are all cowards. So this bishop is incredibly brave for standing up and saying this to Donald Trump, because anyone who stands up to Donald Trump, he seeks revenge against. But what does this bishop have to lose? Her life is dedicated to God. I hope this encourages and inspires other people to stand up and to speak out against Donald Trump. I hope this reminds us of who are and what are our loyalties, who they should be to. If it is a higher power, if it is the Constitution, that we're loyal to those things and not a man who professes to be the great unifier, yet chooses to go out and pick on the weakest among us whenever he can for his own power and his own gain. I hope this inspires protest against Donald Trump. I do want to close, though, circling back to JD Vance. Donald Trump is the oldest person who's been sworn in to the presidency. And it is very clear, based on JD Vance's reaction to this, that he might just be even a bigger slime ball than Donald Trump. Thanks for watching. Share your reflections down in the comments below and like this video if you agreed with the bishop and my analysis of it. And subscribe to Reflect Politics here on YouTube if you haven't already. My name is Brendan. I'll see you in the next video.